Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we bring you a military update that will leave you on the edge of your seat. China has directly tested the United States at Scarborough Shoal, a small reef with enormous global importance, and the results stunned the world. This is not just a clash over territory, it is a trial of technology, strategy, and future dominance at sea. Imagine the South China Sea, one of the busiest shipping lanes on Earth, suddenly becoming the stage for high-tech naval maneuvers, advanced drones, and powerful warships. The Scarborough Shoal standoff is more than a dispute, it is a blueprint of how modern conflicts will be fought through surveillance, electronic warfare, and overwhelming naval presence. Stay with us as we break down the shocking moves by China, the US Navy's response, and why the outcome matters for every nation watching. Scarborough Shoal may appear small on a map, but its importance is massive. Located just about 120 miles west of the Philippines, this reef sits inside Manila's exclusive economic zone, yet Beijing claims it as part of its so-called Nine-Line, stretching across nearly the entire South China Sea. This makes the shoal a hotbed of overlapping claims, international disputes, and military tests. For China, controlling Scarborough is about extending influence and securing maritime routes. For the Philippines, it's about sovereignty and access to rich fishing grounds. For the US, the issue is even bigger, defending freedom of navigation and stopping any single power from dominating these vital waters. That's why US Navy destroyers, carrier strike groups, and surveillance planes are often seen patrolling near the shoal. Each encounter here is not just a regional incident, it's a signal to the world about who sets the rules at sea. In recent months, Scarborough Shoal has turned into a testing ground for some of the world's most advanced military technologies. China has stepped up patrols using Coast Guard cutters, but behind the scenes, the real game involves drones, sensors, and artificial intelligence. Reports indicate Chinese drones, equipped with high-resolution cameras and electronic warfare payloads, have been circling US Navy ships, studying their movements and response times. These aren't simple drones. They can map underwater terrain, monitor radio frequencies, and even disrupt radar. In response, the United States has deployed its P-8 Poseidon aircraft, famous for submarine hunting and maritime surveillance, alongside Arleigh Burke-class destroyers fitted with Aegis combat systems. These platforms can detect threats from hundreds of miles away and neutralize them if needed. What we're seeing here is not a simple naval patrol. It's a high-stakes duel of surveillance networks, countermeasures, and precision warfare, all compressed into one strategic flashpoint. What makes Scarborough Shoal so unique is that it has become a stage for silent but powerful electronic warfare. China has reportedly tested jamming devices in the area designed to interfere with US communications and GPS signals. This kind of disruption can blind a warship or aircraft without firing a single shot. In response, the US Navy has activated advanced counter-electronic systems to block or neutralize these attempts, ensuring constant connectivity for its strike groups. It's a shadow battle that most people never see. Radar beams, encrypted signals, and cyber tools locked in constant competition. Both sides know that whoever masters the invisible domain of electronic warfare will hold the advantage in any future conflict. Scarborough is proving that control isn't only about ships or aircraft anymore. It's about dominating the digital battlefield that decides how effectively those forces can operate when tensions rise. Alongside electronic warfare, both China and the United States are showcasing raw naval power near Scarborough Shoal. China frequently sends heavily armed Coast Guard vessels and maritime militia ships, sometimes numbering in the dozens, to encircle the reef and intimidate smaller Filipino fishing boats. At the same time, the People's Liberation Army Navy has sailed advanced Type 055 destroyers and even aircraft carriers into the region to signal strength. The US response has been equally bold. Carrier strike groups led by the USS Ronald Reagan or USS Nimitz have conducted freedom of navigation operations, supported by destroyers and cruisers carrying Tomahawk missiles. This isn't just about showing flags. It's about reminding Beijing that American naval power can reach anywhere, anytime. Each deployment sends a loud message: the United States is committed to defending international waters, and any attempt to change the status quo at Scarborough will be challenged head-on. Air dominance is another critical layer. In the Scarborough standoff, China has deployed long-range bombers and advanced J-16 fighter jets to nearby airfields, while also testing aerial refueling capabilities that extend their patrol range across the South China Sea. On top of that, Chinese reconnaissance planes constantly fly over disputed waters to monitor US movements. In response, the US Navy and Air Force have strengthened aerial surveillance, with P-8 Poseidon aircraft and Global Hawk drones providing a constant watch. These platforms can scan hundreds of miles, detect submarines, and relay real-time data back to carrier strike groups. The US also brings stealth fighters like the F-35, capable of operating unseen while mapping Chinese defenses. Every patrol, every overflight, is a rehearsal for a larger confrontation. The airspace above Scarborough Shoal is now as contested as the waters below, with both nations pushing their technology to the absolute limit. Beneath the waves at Scarborough Shoal, another silent contest is unfolding: submarine warfare. China has invested heavily in modernizing its submarine fleet, including nuclear-powered boats armed with long-range cruise missiles. These subs can lurk undetected and threaten US surface ships if conflict ever breaks out. To counter this, the US Navy relies on its Virginia-class submarines, widely considered among the quietest and most lethal in the world. Equipped with advanced sonar arrays and stealth technology, they can shadow Chinese vessels without being detected. The US also deploys undersea drones and sensor networks that constantly scan for enemy movement. What makes this undersea battle so critical is its invisibility. Nobody can see it, yet it has the power to decide a conflict before it begins. At Scarborough, the undersea domain is just as contested as the skies above, turning the shoal into a complete three-dimensional battlefield. Scarborough Shoal isn't just about China and the United States. It's about alliances and regional security. The Philippines, a key US treaty ally, has repeatedly called for support as Chinese vessels block its fishermen from traditional waters. Each American patrol near Scarborough reassures Manila that its sovereignty is backed by more than words. Other nations like Japan, Australia, and even the United Kingdom have also sailed through the South China Sea, signaling that freedom of navigation is a shared interest, not just a US mission. On the flip side, China portrays these actions as foreign interference in its backyard, strengthening its narrative of defending national pride. This creates a dangerous cycle of escalation. Every ship, every flight, every statement carries diplomatic weight. Scarborough has therefore become more than a shoal. It is now a measuring stick of global resolve, testing whether alliances can withstand Beijing's growing pressure. The Scarborough Shoal standoff is more than a regional dispute. It is a glimpse into how future conflicts could unfold. Neither side wants open war, but both are unwilling to back down, creating a tense balance that could shift with a single miscalculation. A collision at sea, an intercepted aircraft, or a misread radar signal could trigger a chain reaction no one can fully control. The US Navy's presence is about deterring aggression and reassuring allies, while China's maneuvers are about asserting dominance and testing American resolve. Technology makes every move sharper and faster, but it also increases the risk of escalation. Hypersonic missiles, stealth fighters, cyber attacks, all of these tools are in play, even if they haven't been unleashed. Scarborough Shoal reminds the world that military technology doesn't just protect borders, it can also push nations to the brink of confrontation in unpredictable ways. Scarborough Shoal has become a symbol of the 21st century struggle for power, where technology, alliances, and strategy all collide in one contested reef. What we've seen is not just a territorial dispute, but a live demonstration of how modern militaries operate: satellites guiding fleets, drones mapping every move, submarines lurking unseen, and electronic warfare shaping the invisible battlefield. For the US Navy, every patrol signals commitment to keeping seas open. For China, every deployment is a step toward redefining control. And for the world, the outcome here will set a precedent for how future conflicts at sea might unfold. One thing is certain: this story is far from over. The Scarborough Shoal standoff will continue to test technology, strategy, and international resolve. Stay tuned, because the next chapter may come sooner than expected. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates.